Hey there. Good morning, everybody. It is John Lone King. It is Friday, April the 10th. Thank you for joining me today for this quick update. So two things I'm going to cover today. First thing I'm going to cover is the market, what's happening with the market, what I see with interest rates, what's happening with housing prices this spring so far. And then I'm going to give you a dive into a new program. I gave a sneak peek on it last week. I'm super excited. It is a down payment assistance program that pretty much everybody qualifies for. I'll give you more details. Hang tight after the market update and you'll hear everything about that program. So what's going on with the market? First of all, interest rates have started inching back down some, in large part because the crisis, the war, whatever you want to call it, in Iran has calmed down. Now, who knows if that's starting back up? We've got a lot of political jargon going on both sides, and between Israel and the United States and Iran, and there's a whole bunch of unknowns, including the fact that as of yesterday, Trump had said, hey, this ceasefire only exists if you guys open up the strait, and Iran saying, no, I'm not opening up the strait. Well, that's going to impact oil prices. And if Iran continues to meter how many ships can go through the strait, and if Iran continues to charge a toll, like I heard like $2 million or $2 billion, 2 million, I think, for a ship to go through the strait, that's going to increase significantly the amount of oil available and the cost of that oil. And that's going to keep inflation high. Inflation is the enemy of mortgage rates. Inflation is why rates have been high for the last 3 years, 4 years almost. And inflation is why interest rates have shot up over the last month and a half since this crisis or war in Iran has started. How's that impacting the market? Well, we're seeing some buyers kind of pull back a little bit because rates shot up and they were hoping that they could lock in the high fives, and instead rates are in the low to mid sixes for the most case. And that's creating buyer hesitation. And that hesitation in some markets is translating to just the market is slowing down a lot. Right now, April should be the biggest month for transactions. Depending upon what data you look at, it could be a couple of weeks to a month before we really know what April's going to shape up to be. But the concern is we're not going to see the pop that we normally see in buyers. And we had a lot of sellers that came back into the market this spring. And so the question is, where do home prices go from here? And I think we're going to have another lackluster spring. That's a buying opportunity for buyers if you're in the right position and you're going to afford the monthly payment. That's the key. Can you afford the monthly payments? Now, as far as the market overall, I still think we're headed towards lower interest rates. We've got a new Fed chairman coming in, supposed to be next month. That doesn't mean rates are automatically going down, but it means that there's going to be a lot more pressure for rates to go down. And that should equate to rates at least staying stable to lower, provided inflation doesn't become the big problem. And that can be a problem even if the war in Iran ends, but oil prices stay high. So we're not sure where housing prices are going. We're still in the same kind of stuck in the mud position that we've been in when it comes to the fight between how many buyers and how many sellers, where are interest rates, and what does that mean to where house prices are going. So right now, it's about smoke them if you got them. Okay, so if you like the market, you like your options, you find a home on the market that you like, strike while the iron is hot. Many sayings I come up with, and move now because your opportunity is greater right now to negotiate. I'm seeing a lot of seller credits. I'm seeing a lot of creative negotiation. You have the buying power, leverage as a buyer right now that you don't have when the market picks back up again. And when rates come down, the market is going to pick up with buyers. Now, we might have a bunch of sellers come back in and still keep it an even market, but it's an unknown. And that's the part that you have to decide, am I willing to take that risk or not? Quick update if you're on Dream for All, the vouchers are supposed to be released ideally sometime early to mid-May. There's no guarantee, but that's our best projection of when those vouchers are going to be released. Speaking of which, if you are looking at buying a home, as a matter of fact, you're looking at refinancing a home, I have an amazing new program that I want to talk about. There is a new down payment assistance program that actually can be used to purchase a home or to refinance a home. And it is absolutely the best down payment assistance program I've seen as far as its flexibility and how it is structured. So this program basically says anybody who is looking to purchase a home and they have at least a 580 credit score, you can get into that house with zero down payment, without paying higher interest rates than market rate, without paying higher fees than market rate, and without having a second mortgage on the home. Now, how does that work? Because it's a forgivable second mortgage. So the way the package works is it's packaged through a solar installation on your home that's financed into the big loan. So you're basically saying, hey, I want to buy a $500,000 home. Okay, you're 3% or 3.5% because it's FHA. So we're talking about $17,500 in down payment money. So you are taking out, let's say they're going to bundle up a $36,000 solar package and you get solar installed. So you have $17,500 of down payment money that is loaned to you as a second mortgage that is forgiven in 90 days. So you never have to pay back that second mortgage. Your first mortgage would have been, what are we talking about here? $482,500 because you take 500,000 times 96.5%, $482,500. But you're adding $36,000 to that to finance in the solar installation package. But part of that package basically pays off your down payment assistance loan. So you're bundling together your solar package and the money for your down payment as part of the first mortgage loan, and you have a second mortgage that is forgiven. So it is an amazing program that basically allows you to get into a home. Now, I've never been a huge fan of solar for the sake of solar. Okay, some people are, and they're saying, hey, solar is going to save the world. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm not against it. What I'm against is solar financing, because solar financing is a problem. You now have a second loan on the property. The interest rate's significantly higher. The buyer has to qualify for the solar financing when you go to sell your home. And often when you refinance, you have to pay off that solar loan, and it makes it a bigger challenge. Well, with this program, the solar is built into the first mortgage. But you're not doing this for the sake of solar. You're doing it for the sake of a forgivable down payment assistance. The method to get the down payment assistance is the fact that we are installing solar. So you can't do the down payment assistance is forgiven without the solar. But the package deal allows me to qualify you without any extra rules. If you qualify for an FHA loan with at least 3.5% down, I can do this loan for you, and you're getting market interest rates. When you go with normal down payment assistance, CalHFA is one of my favorite, but you get 2 loans in the end. You pay higher than market interest rates sometimes, around market interest rates sometimes, but you're definitely paying higher than market fees to get the down payment assistance loan. None of that applies to this new program. It's an absolutely game changer to allow you, even if you don't have perfect credit, and so many people who came to me about Dream for All and they couldn't qualify for Dream for All because they didn't have the 680 required credit score. This program is a game changer. You need to scan the QR code up top. You need to click on the link up above, schedule time to talk with me, get a hold of my team. We're going to take great care of you. This is one of many options. It might not be the right option for everybody, but my goal is to have as many options as I can. I have all the down payment assistance programs I had before, plus some new ones. And I want to help guide you to make sure that I'm getting you the right program at the right time for the right home for your circumstances. So I really appreciate you joining me. I appreciate you trusting me. I'm looking forward to talking to you again next week. I hope everybody has an absolutely amazing weekend, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.